So we know today that we spend in development around 20% of our time writing the code. But we spend the majority of our time doing other things, like collaborating with product managers to generate new requirements for new implementations, working for security teams to manage vulnerabilities, refactoring our code, securing it, improving it, and so on. So bringing AI into only code generation is the wrong way to think about it. In order to empower you in your daily tasks, we need to put AI into the entire software development lifecycle. And second, you may be experiencing some duplication and disparity in tooling. So for instance, for agile aspects, you will need to switch on agile product to work with your product manager. And then for security, you need to switch on vulnerability management tool, and so on. So this disparity leads to a loss in a focus and a waste of time. And basically bringing AI into this tool chain as is will only make things worse and intensify the problem. We need to bring a unified data context and a unified platform for all your team members. So, with GitLab and the solution GitLab DU, we brought AI into different use cases beyond code generation. Basically, this is a GitLab flow. So it's a branching strategy where we combine feature-driven development with issue tracking. So it provides you with a path from planning into development until deployment into production. So in focusing on the first part about planning, before starting any development, we start by an idea. Your organization have goals, milestones, epics. These translated in form of stories. And these stories are presented in issues in GitLab platform. Discussions are happening in there, and sometimes they might get long with different threads, different aspects. So basically, as a developer, I need to focus on the key points. Let's see how GitLab DU will help me to get the key points of all discussions in an issue. So here you can see a GitLab platform, and I opened an issue in here. And the subject of this issue is mainly validate the size of uploaded files. So this is a new feature. And my team members, as you can see, have been discussing this implementation and additional requirements in different threads. So there is one about the file size, which should be less than 50 megabytes, for instance. About the protocols to implement, about the error messaging, and so on. Thankfully, GitLab DU provide me with a view summary button here. And voila. In this summary, you can see I got sum up of all discussion happened there, and also the key points I should focus on for my development stage. We're seeing our customers using this to make sure that everyone understands what is required from him, and also to improve the collaboration between product managers and their developers. Second, since we know what we should implement, then we'll focus on the code generation aspect. And we'll see now how GitLab DU will help me to generate a new code, and also to help me to debug a situation, to find root analysis into my pipeline bug, and fix it directly. Let's go back into the demo. And as you know, the first step, well, this is the best practice in GitLab Flow. The first step is to start by creating a merge request, which is the place where all the changes are happening around the code, and also reviews, collaboration on the code part. Let me generate the merge request. And as you can see, I have here an empty merge request. There is no changes on it. To start making the changes in the branch associated to this merge request, I will open my IDE. And here, as you can see, I open my code file, and I'll insert a description in a comment of the function I want to implement. So this basically tells the platform that I want to implement a function to test uploaded file and limit it into 50 megabytes. I insert the comment, and then it generates, GitLab DO generates for me the associated function to this implementation. Now, since we made the implementation, you know that the best thing to do is to make tests around this function. So GitLab DO is capable to provide all the tests associated to this function. There is a chat option or a chat feature. It's a plugin integrated into this IDE, and I send a prompt to my GitLab DO to ask him to generate all the tests for this function by using only assert true. Let me send the prompt, and voila, it generates the tests associated to this function. So now I'll take these tests and insert them into my test file. Now I've made the changes. I'll commit these changes into my branch, which is associated to my merge request. Now, there is something important to know, that because we spend our time working on multiple features, we're not working on a single merge request at a time. So we need to add some description for us when we come back to this feature, and also for our colleagues to understand what we are doing there without reading the code every time. So basically, I need to add a description. I will edit this merge request. Something. Yeah. And as you can see, GitLab DO provide me with this feature as well, which will generate a description of my implementation based on my code changes directly. And voila, this is a description that tells me about the implementation, the limitation, and the name of my function, so everyone can see what is happening there. And as you can see, there is a pipeline running. So for every change, there is a pipeline that is triggered, which will build my application, test it, and maybe deploy it to a review environment. Let's take a look into my pipeline. You see that almost everything went fine except test job. So there is some issue basically in this pipeline. I need to find out the reason behind. I can open this job. And here I find a very long log with too many details. So I could spend lots of time reading all the log to find the main reason behind and the root cause. Thankfully, GitLab DO provide me with a troubleshooting button here. And this will basically scrap this log, adding context to it, and help GitLab DO to find the root cause. So here, he found that I'm using a wrong colon into one of my functions, and also it provides me a way of how to fix it in the code directly. So let's go back to my IDE, fix my colon in my function, and then merge again this change into my merge request. So voila, everything went fine. I've merged all the changes in this merge request, and I'm ready to merge it into main branches or production branches. But as you know, before merging into production branches, I might have introduced some issues into my code, so my colleagues or more senior developers can provide me with reviews, and I may have introduced some vulnerabilities as well. So I need to fix these vulnerabilities, and let's see how GitLab DO will help me to remediate that. So basically, a scan was triggered in the pipeline. He found that I've injected NSQL injection issue. So this is a static scanner, and let me click on this vulnerability and see what it means. I get a detail of this vulnerability, but I can ask GitLab DO to provide me with further explanation that is easy to understand with some examples by clicking the explanation button here. And voila, you can see how this vulnerability is happening, how the attackers may use it to attack my application, and also how to fix it manually if I want. Well, luckily, this is a very known issue, so we can also use GitLab DO to remediate it automatically. Let me resolve it with EI. So voila, GitLab DO have created a merge request with all the changes to fix this vulnerability automatically. Our customers are using this to ensure that the applications are secure and also to improve the quality of their products. This leads to more customer satisfaction when it comes to their developments. So we've seen how GitLab Duo can help you with the entire software development lifecycle. In addition, there is many more use cases. We're working also on some agentic approach. We have some products like GitLab Duo Workflow, GitLab Duo with Amazon Q, that we can basically start from an idea, and it generates the entire merge request with the implementation, for instance, to upgrade the entire application version from a Java old version to a newer one, or to refactor all your code, and so on. If you want to try this same demo, you can scan the first link, and also please feel free to contact us to talk to an expert and maybe to start a trial with your organization. Thank you for your attention.